Kung wala naman ng question regarding this, your assignment, we can move on na. Okay? We can move on to Module 5, okay, which is People in Information Assurance. Okay? Um, if we talk about information assurance kasi, we are assuring people uh, security on their business or in their information systems, right, on their assets. But when you assure something, when you pag sinasabi mo, pinapangako mong i-secure mo yung isang bagay, okay, in business, in organization, or in cybersecurity, uh, hindi lang yung software, hindi lang yung mga IT, hindi lang tayo as a IT students, hindi lang yung mga security manager or yung owner ang may karapatang or masasabi natin sila lang may trabahong maging secure ang isang business. Okay? Hindi lang trabaho ng isang IT person para maging secure ang isang business. Yun ang pinaka main goal natin dito sa Module 5 is we will talk about that people is one of the people in organization like the employees, like the security guard, like the IT, lahat, all the people inside the organizations uh, na nagwo-work under organizations or in their government facility or something, to secure or to assure their assets, we need the cooperation of others. Okay? Yun yung pinaka main point natin dito sa Module 5 na to. Okay? Walang kwenta yung antivirus mo. Walang kwenta yung security guard mo. Walang kwenta yung any secure method na ginawa mo. Okay, pag-update mo ng system mo, if yung gagamit, walang alam. Nagets nyo ba? So, dapat each people in organization, each member should be, sabi nga natin, should be educated, motivated, regulated. Okay? That's why sinabi dito sa people in information assurance is a lot more than just series of technical countermeasure. Hindi lang yung antivirus, sir, yung backup, hindi lang yon. Okay? It's all about you, ourselves, and others. Okay? It's about people knowing kung gaano ka-importante yung security. Bakit, sir? For example, okay, nagwo-work ka sa isang company. Meron silang software na kailangan mong gamitin. May kailangan kang mag-login, okay? Pero ang sabi, hindi ka tinuruan ng boss mo or yung IT professional na mag-use ng secured password, di ba? Ang ginamit mo lang is Alipio, Alipio 123. So walang kwenta yung having a username password if hindi mo naman finalo yung or hindi mo naman alam yung secure password or hindi mo naman alam yung security ways. Okay? Kung ano yung mga dapat mong gawin para maging secured yung computer mo. Okay? Hindi kayang i-detect lahat ng isang tao lang yan. That's why you need the cooperations of others or the members or the people inside the organization to be completely secured yung business mo. Secured nga yung IT mo, ginagawa niya nga secured yung isang system, pero ang ginagawa mo naman, gumagamit ka ng mga madadaling password. So, madali lang rin ma-hack. Okay? Ano pa bang example doon? Meron kang wait. What is one of the good example pa na you need others? Because other thing is, meron ngang antivirus yang sa computer business mo. For example, another example. Meron ngang antivirus yung computer mo sa business. But your employee doesn't use it. Hindi sila nag-i-scan. Hindi nila ginagamit. May backup storage nga, pero hindi naman nila binabackup. Kasi hindi nila alam na dapat palang gawin rin yun. Ang alam mo lang kasi, IT lang yan. IT lang gagawa niyan. Yung IT department lang natin gagawa niyan lahat. No. Okay? When you are in an organization's business, you should also be aware to secure your own personal things or your own assigned devices. Okay? That's why you need people cooperation inside a business. This is why we need to discuss in Module 5 how, sabi nga natin, people have to be educated, motivated, and appropriately regulated para masabi mong, ma-assure mo ang complete security ng isang business. Okay? So in Module 5, we will check how we will educate. Paano natin may educate yung mga tao dun sa organization mo para maging aware sila sa mga complete security method. Ano yung mga kailangan nilang documents, mga ganon. Paano natin sila i-motivate? Paano natin sila i-regulate? So, ano yung regulated na yan, sir? More on control. Paano natin sila makokontrol na tama yung gawin nila? Okay? Tama na, dapat kapag gumamit sila ng username, password, kasi hindi na nahawak ng IT, most of the company, hindi na madedetect ng IT yan kapag gumamit ka talaga ng secure password. It's your own action should be automatic na sa utak mo na, uy, gagamit ako ng uppercase, lowercase number, and special characters para maging secured yung password ko. Okay? Pero, paano kung hindi mo nga nagawa? Dahil, yun nga, hindi nga, ang akala mo, IT professionals lang yung naka-handle lang sa mga security, gano'n. Sabi nga dito, even the most sophisticated information assurance system on the planet is worthless. Kahit sophisticated yung kahit gaano kagaling or gaano katibay yung security mo, kung hindi naman aware yung gagamit, kung hindi naman niya alam paano gamitin, wala siyang security conscious, walang kwenta yung system mo. Okay? Sir, ito na yung secure, for example, ito na yung camera natin, sir. Secure na yan, provided by IT professional. Linagay mo lang sa CR or linagay mo lang sa labas na wala, hindi naman, dapat sa gate mo ilagay. Di ba? Nonsense, di ba? Kahit gaano pa ka-secure yung isang camera, kung mali naman yung pinaglagyan mo dahil hindi mo siya na-instruct at hindi aware, akala mo kasi alam niya na, wala rin magiging kwenta. Kahit gaano ka-secure pa yung system nga nila, but people using it doesn't know how, or wala siyang security conscious, meaning hindi siya conscious sa security niya, wala siyang pakialam kung ma-hack siya or may mangyaring masama sa kanya, wala rin kwenta yung system mo. Okay? This is why we need to say that people is important rin. Okay? May questions pa dun, class, regarding the people in information assurance. Naintindihan nyo ba, class? Now, kaya nga sabi nila, people in information assurance have to be educated. Sabi nga dito. Para ma-ensure mo na secure yung business nyo or yung organization nyo or yung information system mo, dapat yung people inside your company should be educated, motivated, regulated. Educated, alam nila yung security. Motivated, kahit gaano ka pa ka-edukado, kung tamad ka naman, walang motivation, hindi papasok hindi chine-check lagi yung logs. Okay? Absent ng absent. So, wala rin kwenta. Di ba? You should motivate. Dapat may motivation isang employee to do well-secured environment. Di ba? Then, regulated, again, sabi ko nga, control on how you control other people to do a certain security measure. Okay? May question ba tayo dun, class? Wala, sir. Wala naman. Naintindihan nyo naman yun? on why we call it people in information assurance.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move on. Now, on organization, meron tayong term na ginagamit na what we call security culture. Okay? Anyone knows kung ano yung culture? Ano ba ang culture? Bakit tinawag na security culture? Any idea kung bakit naging sinabi nilang security culture within organization? Okay. Anyone who would like to discuss regarding security culture? Wala. Okay, wala. Okay, security culture is a set of belief and value ingrained in an organization that result in all employees behaving and operating in a way that promotes cybersecurity.
Sir Chappy.
Okay. Sabi nga nila, security culture is a set of belief and values ingrained. Ito lang. Okay? A culture is, if you said culture, ito yung, di ba, yung lagi mong ginagawa, even though isang beses o dalawang beses lang tinuro sa'yo or something, kahit nung kabataan mo pa tinuro sa'yo. Okay? For example, can you give me one of the culture of St. Joseph College students? If you understand this, okay, a set of belief and values ingrained in an organization, anong culture ng Josepian na kahit graduate sila, nandun pa rin yung belief nila. Okay? Kahit any Catholic school, okay, have the same culture on being a Josepian students. Magbigay nga kayo ng isang culture na ginagawa nyo sa school nyo as a Josepian.
Laging nagsisimba, sir. Sir!
Oh, yes, Michelle. Yes, Michelle.
Religious belief, sir.
Yes, religious belief. To be specific, one of the culture of Josepian sa atin is bago mag-start at magtapos nung grade school kayo, di ba, nagpre-pray tayo. Actually, pati nga nung high school Di ba? One of the culture is, before may gawin ka, you pray. Bago mag-start ang class, you pray. Before you end, you pray. Okay? Bago kumain, you pray. Every Sunday, you go to Mass. You pray. That's the belief and values ingrained to us as a student of a Catholic school. Now, we're talking about security culture. Ano yung belief and values ingrained in an organization? Okay? One of the example there is having a strong username and password. Okay? Dapat automatic na yan. Okay? Pag in-employ ka as a IT, o kahit any organization, one of the security culture na dapat mong alam na agad, yung natutunan mo na dati pa, and you should do it in the future. Kasi meron ka ng IAS Nasa curriculum nyo na, may IAS na kayo. Tinuturuan ko na kayo. Okay? Is you have a culture of having a strong password. Okay? Dapat hindi, once you have a computer, you should have a belief and values na dapat laging may strong password ka. Kasi hindi lang trabaho ng IT na bigyan ka ng strong password. Dapat pati yung sarili mo, alam mo na dati pa. Na hindi Alipio 1, 2, 3 password lang ang gagamitin mo. Okay? That's one of the security culture in an organization. Okay? Yan yung, kung hindi ako ang nagturo sa inyo, yan yung mga ituturo sa seminar. Sa training or the introduction. Okay? Kung wala ako as your IAS. Pero ngayon, dahil may subject na kayong IAS, you should know na. Okay? You won't be culture shock kapag na ganyan, ay, Akala ko 1, 2, 3 lang yung password natin. Ay, akala ko hello 1, 2, 3 lang. No. Having a secured password is one of the security culture in an organization. Okay? So, kaya nga sabi dito, result employees behaving, operating in a way to promote cybersecurity. All employees. Ito yun, all employees. Ano ba dapat diskarte ng isang organization to have a security culture? Yan naman, now, ito na yung way kung paano maging aware. Paano maging aware yung mga employees mo to have a security culture. Okay? They need to be aware, yan nga sabi, they need to be aware of the dangers on how relevant they are to them and their data. Okay? You should inform your employees, you should inform your people that the danger of malware, danger of having risks, threats on your organizations. Okay? If you made them aware, madedevelop yung security culture na lang dyan. Okay? Now, one of the method na ginagawa ng organization or any businesses, okay, let's say, if I said organization, let's say businesses, schools, government facility, okay, government facility, departments, okay, yan yung buong organization na yan, mga business, gano'n. So, one of their method on doing this is having a security policy. Okay? That's one of the way kung paano nila ine-educate yung mga people, yung mga employees nila. So, what is security policy? Can you guys have an idea, class, on security policy? For example, in your St. Joseph, may security policy yan. Hindi nyo lang alam na yun pala yun na security policy. Anyone, on St. Joseph, may alam ba kayo kung paano nila dineliver yung security culture, kung paano malaman na estudyante kayo ng St. Joseph? Paano kayo maging secured doon? Okay? Security policy is more on like on your handbook. Di ba may handbook kayo doon? Andun yung to do or to do, the rules. To do and not to do. Good practices and not practices. Okay? For example, as a student, okay, one of the security policy there is to wear a complete uniform to identify that you are a Josepian. Di ba? That's one of the policy. Na-educate kayo. One of the culture is wearing a uniform, complete uniform when going to school. Tinatak na sa inyo yan, ginawa ng culture sa inyo yan since nung bata kayo, since nung grade school kayo, since nung kindergarten kayo. Di ba kapag sinabi mong eskwelahan, automatic na-imagine nyo, ano kayang uniform ko? Ano kayang ganyan ko? So, ano kayang magiging palda ko? Ano kayang magiging polo ko? Ano kayang kulay ng pants ko? Kasi automatic na, naging culture na ng isang eskwelahan na may complete uniform kayo. Meron designated design na uniform. That's one of the culture. Now, how do they educate you? They provided you a handbook or security policy na you should do these practices to regulate access and organization system and information included in it. So same logic on security policy in organizations. You will see there's a book or a document that's saying you should wear ID. Okay? That's one of the security culture in any organizations. Wearing ID. How do we know na ikaw talaga ikaw? Using an ID. Now, how do they educate you? Using a security policy or handbook saying that I should use this ID. Okay? Para maging secure yung organization. paano makakatulong magiging secure yung organization ko nag-wear ako ng uniform, sir, or ID? Ha? At least they know na doon ka sa company na yun. Ha? Pag may pumasok na kakaibang uniform, they know na different person ng yun. Di ba? So, that's one of the good example. Ha? Now, if we said here, I also added different example on security policy like a policy regarding using email address on University of Iowa. Okay? Meron daw sinabi dito sa University of Iowa sa United States, ha? Sa isang university kapag employee ka ng isang university, you should use their own email address. Dapat @Iowa lang laging ginagamit mo. At dapat laging merong signature na kung anong department mo, kung anong employee ka, ha? Nandito sa policy lahat yan. Okay? So each component of your business can have each policy. Okay? Pwede sa paggamit ng email address, may policy ka dyan. Sa paggamit ng uniform mo, may policy dyan. Okay? May question ba dun, class? Regarding security culture and security policy? Naintindihan niyo naman, class? Yung mga example natin.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, kung Okay, let's move on. 7 security culture dimensions. Okay? On how, yung dimensions kasi on how you will measure kung gaano ka strong yung security culture nyo. Okay? Sorry. Nagutom na ako. According to Kai Rohr, okay, CEO of CLRE, ito yung honor, okay? Honor or the chief executive officers ng CLTRE, si Kai, defines an organization's security culture, different ideas, customs, and behavior that employees manager towards security. Rohr explains that the strength of security culture in an organization can be assessed by measuring the employees. Okay? Paano mo masasabing secure yung meron kang magandang security culture? Okay, paano mo masasabi? Now, ito si Kai nga, one of the famous CEO yan ng researcher. Ginagamit to actually pati ng ibang company like Amazon. Okay? Kung how they measure the security culture, ha? Kung paano mag-behave yung mga employees nila, kung tama, kung mayroon bang iniisip ba nila yung seguridad ng company or yung sarili nila on having a secure environment. Okay? Now, to measure that, okay? To measure na meron kang strong or mahinang culture, okay? Parang hindi masyadong na-implement yung mga, hindi nasusunod yung mga rules and regulation mo, kaya pwede natin sabihin mahina yung security culture, okay? We have 7 dimensions, okay? 7 dimensions on how we measure the security culture in an organization. Okay? We have attitudes, we have behaviors, we have cognitions, communications, compliance, norms, responsibilities. Okay? Attitudes, well, sabi nga kung yung the way yung act ng, kung sasabihin niya ba, oy, mag-wear ka ng ID. Ha? Yung attitudes mo, hindi ko trip yan. Ha? That's the attitude. Okay? Sabi nga dito, kapag resentment to understanding. From ayoko to gusto ko. Ha? Pwede nilang i-measure dyan kung yung paano yung attitudes mo in a regulation. Like wearing an ID to be the organization to be secured. Okay? Behaviors. Attitude drives behaviors. Kung ayaw mo isang bagay, syempre pangit yung papakita mo. Yung act mo. Diba? That's why attitudes drive behavior. Kung pangit yung attitudes mo, of course, pangit rin yung papakita mo. Wera na lang siguro plastikan. Okay? Pero, more on attitudes drive behaviors. Okay? If employees believe that the data is important and they plan to role protecting it, then their behavior will reflect to those beliefs. For example, having a good, how they act on towards password management or phishing. Kung wala kang pakialam, kung ayaw mong sundin yung having a secured password, madali ka lang ma-hack. Okay? So that's why organizations are always, or hindi naman, should be, the standard way is to inform you to have a good or a strong password. Okay? Para maging secure. Totally having a secured. Okay? So, yon, behaviors. One of the measurement is behaviors. Okay? I-observe nila. Observe, paano nila nakukuha yan? Either through survey or observation by the higher officials. Okay? I-observe nila yung attitudes mo. I-observe nila yung behaviors mo. I-observe nila yung cognition. Okay? Kung paano, kung naintindihan ba nila, nung sinabi mo, hoy, bawal ID. Ano ulit gagawin ko? Or sabihin mo na lang, hoy, bawal yung Alipio 123 na password. So ano yung, naintindihan mo ba na bawal yun? Naintindihan mo ba na dapat ang gamitin mong password is with capital, lowercase, and special character to have a strong password? So either this, paano nila ma-measure yung cognition? Either a test, kung paano mo mabilis na intindihan yung isang bagay, cognition, on how they well understand the instruction or the rules. Okay? Communication, how well communication channel promote the sense of belonging and support and security issues incident reporting. So, how do you communicate? How do you talk to each other? Ano lang yung communication na yan? How do you communicate na dapat strong password ang gamitin or dapat mag-ID ka? So, yan. Compliance, number one dyan, syempre compliance rin. Kung ginawa ba nila yung policy, kung sumunod ba sila sa pag-wear ng ID. Syempre, mami-measure, di ba? Sabi nga nila, mami-measure mo yung security culture. Kung malakas ba siya. Ma-observe mo naman yan eh. Pag nakita mo pumapasok lahat ng estudyante mo or lahat ng employees mo, pumapasok na may ID, perfect attendance na may ID, meaning nagko-comply sila. Sumusunod sila. So, yes, that's one of the measurement. Compliance. Okay? Norms. Yan yung dyan na pumapasok yung kung bakit kailangan mo ng culture. Okay? Yung norms, yan yung parang you've been affected by other groups or by other people. For example, walang seminar na nangyari or hindi kayo na-educate, wala kayong IAS. Okay? Pero nung pumasok kayo sa organization, merong isang or your employee, your classmates or your workmates or a set of group, sinabi nila, ba't wala kang ID, dapat nag-ID ka lagi. The way you affect other people, yung norms. Kaya nga sinasabi nila dyan peer pressure. Alam nyo ba yung word na peer pressure? Ginawa mo siya dahil ginagawa ng iba. Napre-pressure kang gawin kasi yun yung uso. Yun yung norms. Yan na yung normal. Okay? Nagets nyo ba, class? So, pag nakita ng isang company, yung boss nyo nakita na maraming mga grupo na gumagawa na ng nakasuot na ID, maganda yung security culture kasi hindi na nila kailangan sabihin, pero ginagawa nyo na. Okay? Tapos, sinasabihan nyo pa yung ibang workmates, classmates, or other people na you should do this because it will help the security of the company or the organizations. Okay? That's why one of the dimension is norm. Okay? Ang maganda kasi dyan, if you have a strong culture, maraming norms na yan. May nabuong norms na yan. Diba? Parang papasok ka sa klase na nakahubad. Anong mafe-feel mo? Parang, di ba, awkward? Parang hindi ako belong. Kasi hindi yan yung normal. Di ba? Kasi ang normal na culture ng isang eskwelahan is having a proper uniform. Pumasok ka na nakataas yung necktie mo, nakatali dito yung ID mo. Di ba? You will look silly, you will look, ganyan, kasi hindi yan yung norms eh. Pero kapag in-instruct ka ng company mo na itali mo yung ID mo sa short mo, kapag nakatali silang lahat, pag nakita mo lahat sila, it won't look stupid kasi lahat sila ginagawa nila. Nag-gets nyo ba, class? So that is norms. Ha? Yung norms na yan, tsaka lang nag-evolve yan kapag maganda talaga yung culture. Okay? Maganda yung pagkaturo sa kanila. Responsibilities. How employees perceive their role as a critical factor in helping harming security. Okay? Yung responsibility, dapat itatak mo sa mga employees mo na may responsibility rin sila. Okay? Alam nilang responsibilidad nila yung isang device for their security. Okay? Dapat yung mga papel, mga data, mga printed materials na, yeah? Responsibility nilang yung security nun. Okay? Meron ba tayong questions dito, class? Attitudes, behaviors, cognitions, communications, compliance, norms, responsibility. Okay? This is the famous, this is the standard way on measuring security culture. Kung gaano kaganda yung security culture, kung gaano ka strong. Okay? Yan yun. May question ba tayo dun, class?
Wala, sir.
Wala naman? So, the term having a knowledge in something, having a knowledge in security knowledge or physical knowledge, or any information na matutunan mo is what we call, regarding security, we are always talking about security here. So, any knowledge na natutunan mo regarding security, physical man yan or informational, to protect the organization, we call it security awareness, meaning aware ka. Okay? Having a strong password, having backup, having antivirus, kasi meron kang security awareness. Na-inform ko na kayo, na-inform ka ng kaibigan mo, okay? Na-inform ka ng company mo, then having that knowledge is what you have a security awareness. Ano lang kasimple yan? Having a security awareness in an organization will lead to a better security culture. Okay? The more na mas aware sila, the more na mas gagawin nilang, the more na magiging mas secure yung organization nyo. Okay? Now, how do we implement this? Beside from having a security policy, okay? Having beside this, security policy, paano natin sila ma-inform ng security awareness para maging mas maganda pa yung security culture? We will use the security awareness training. Okay? They will do a security awareness training. Sir, ano yan, sir? Mostly, awareness training is happen when you enter an organization. Okay? They will have at least a by group or individual to instruct you what to know and what to do, what to not, what is bad, what is good on the security measure of the organizations. Okay? Security awareness training uses a variety of learning methodologies to help raise awareness of cybersecurity dangers, lower the risk associated with cyber attacks, and cement a security compliance culture in your organizations. Meaning, ito pa lang, dito na lang kayo. Variety of learning methodologies. It's like a seminar lang yan. Okay? There's one teacher and you guys will listen to him. He will teach you on, different methodologies, either presentations or by actual. Okay? It's more on presentation. They will present kung anong magandang password. Okay? They will show you a picture or they will present you something. Okay? That you will be aware on their security measures. Okay? Kung ano ba dapat gawin para maging secure yung company nila. Yan. That's one of the method they use to be para maging aware sa company nila. They use security awareness training. Okay? Security awareness training helps organization to enhance organizational resilience against cyber threat, create shift in employee mindset and behavior change. Okay? Diyan, it will help you to build the culture in having a great security. Ito na yon. Generate buy-in and commitment towards cybersecurity initiative, improve audit result and demonstrate regulatory compliance. Okay, yun nga, yung sinasabi lang kung ano yung mga dapat at hindi. Okay, reduce human error to mitigate. Ito yung number one, actually. Okay? Number one na pag-uusapan nila dyan. Reduce human error and mitigate security risk. More on the internal harm of, human harm of the human threat. Okay? Human error threat. So, they will train you to reduce that. Okay? They will inform you na kapag tinumba mo yan, pag, pag nawala mo yung ID mo, kaya hindi ka makakapasok kasi wala kang security level, mga ganun yung pag-uusapan. Dapat hindi mo putulin yung ID mo, dapat hindi mo walain. Okay? Dapat yung computer mo hindi mo bagsak, dapat protektahin mo yan. Dapat well maintain mo dapat yan, dapat i-update mo. Kasi human error yan pag hindi mo in-update yung computer mo, okay? Sometimes kaya nga meron yung security awareness training. Hindi kasi lahat ng IT department, hindi lahat ng IT kayang isa-isahin. Kuwari kung libo yung computers na yon, di ba? Paano mo isa-isahin na i-update? That's why sometimes they use sometimes yung mga hindi pa masyadong techy na modern ages, they use security awareness training para para turuan kayo, maging aware na dapat i-update nyo yung computer nyo, maglagay kayo ng antivirus para hindi kayo ma-hack or mawala, mawala yung mga data nyo, yung mga work stuff nyo. Okay? So, the benefit of security awareness is number one, to be aware on the security or the threat of the organizations, okay? Make challenge the organization to tackle threat landscape. Para maging aware lang, Kung alam mo kasi isang bagay, alam mo rin paano protektahan yung sarili mo. Ganun lang yun. Okay? Kung hindi mo alam isang bagay, syempre, hindi mo alam na nagkakaroon na pala ng ina-atake ka na pala, hinahack ka na, hindi mo alam na may virus ka na pala, hindi mo pa alam dahil hindi ka nga aware. Okay? So, one of the benefits is just making sure you're aware on several threats on your information systems, okay? Your devices, mga assets mo. Okay? So, yan yung security awareness training. Now, we have a question here. How do we regulate people? Now, we know how we educate, okay? Paano natin sila i-educate? Yan, security awareness training. Now, how do we regulate? Paano natin sila makokontrol on making sure na they comply, they comply on the security rules or the policy. Okay? So ito yon. How do we regulate people? Okay. One of the organization method uses contract of employment. Okay? Contract of employment. Meaning kapag na-employ ka sa isang organizations, number one dyan, papasainan ka nila ng contract of employment. It's a document that you need to read, understand, and signature, meaning you saying that you will comply on all of those rules. Okay? So it's a contract. You should for a legal standing. Okay? This is, sabi nga natin, one of the threat on a business is having a legal liabilities. Okay? One of the method to protect the company on legal liabilities, okay, para hindi sila mademanda, is they use contract of employment. At para may one of the reason na rin yan is to regulate people to comply on all the security method or to do the security culture. Okay, para magpatuloy yung security culture na yon. Yung behavior nyo, yung values nyo dapat hindi magbago. And the way they do that is they use contract of employment. You will be ah, mapipilitan kang gawin kasi nga nag-agree ka. There's a consequence when you don't follow their rules. At nakalagay lahat yan sa contract of employment. Okay? Contract of employment is a very important document because it's a legal standing. Yun nga, it defines the terms and conditions of employment, including the responsibilities of the employee towards the organizations and anyone with whom they interact on behalf of the organizations. Okay? So, you should know what yung the way you behave. Okay? Kasi once na hindi mo pinalo, you can be terminated, you can be fired. Okay? So, another thing that another information that includes on contract of employment is your pay, leaves, illness, training, health cover, and so on. Okay? An employment contract will create a strong basis for protecting both parties' interests and employees' specific role in the company. Like I said before, it's a protection for you and for your company, for the company, mostly company, because yun nga, kapag may ginawa kang uh, nakakasira sa company, they can easily fire you and they can just said that on his contract or on his or her contract, sabi dito, bawal siyang mag-hack. Okay? Dahil na-violate mo yung contract na yun, hindi ka na member ng company na yun. So they have a legal basis to fire you, to defend their organization na, ay, hindi namin na employee yan kasi ninegate niya na or hindi niya sinunod yung contract of employment. Okay? So, para mag-behave ka at gawin mo yung culture, yung mag-ID ka, mag-uniform ka, or any kinds of culture of an employee, of an organizations, okay? Para sundin mo yon, you should, they will make sure you sign the contract of employment. Okay? Para protection, sir, paano naging protection sa sarili mo rin yan, sir? Kasi for example, hindi ka nila binigyan ng pay on 3 months, pwede mong sabihin na violate rin nila yung kontrata. Sabi mo sa kontrata, every 1 month mo ako babayaran, ba't di mo ako binayaran ngayon? So that's why it said, strong basis protecting both parties, for company and you. Okay? One of the I watched on the YouTube regarding this contract of employment is the more na hindi specific ang kontrata, the more na mas makikinabang kayo, class. Okay, yun yung sir. Doon. Kasi pag the more na mas lessen yung rules or lessen yung mga regulation na linagay nila, mas makikinabang yung employee side. Okay? Kasi the more nga na may kalokohan kang gawin, at least wala sa kontrata. Okay? So, kapag binigyan kayo in the future na kontrata, make sure you read it first. Then, if you think it's lacking, okay lang yan. The more na kulang, the more na mas protektado kayo kaysa yung company. Okay? Yun lang yung advice ko sa inyo in the future. Okay? Baka kumuha kayo ng ibang abogado na, gusto ko magpadagdag ng ganito. No. The more na mas kulang yung kontrata kasi, the more na mas maganda sa inyo. You as an employee. Okay? Sa employer, medyo masama yun kasi once na nag-break ka nga ng law, kapag wala naman sa kontrata, safe ka pa rin. Okay? So, anyway, medyo lumayo na tayo doon. Anyway, that's one of the method they use, They give you a contract of employment. Document lang yan, na isa-sign. Na printed document or virtual document, na isa-sign nyo, or you agree, you put your name on it. Okay? So, another method is they use service contract and security undertakings, meaning they just use contract of employment, pero more on services, meaning yung other businesses. Okay? For example, yung business nyo is more on supply, more on school supply, di ba? To provide security on their business, they use service contract and security undertaking, meaning they when they hire other company, they use this one. This it is called service contract. Ha? So, meaning yung company mo nag-hire ng ibang company para supplyan sila ng papers, bago supplyan sila ng mga pencil, supplyan sila ng mga computer, bago mangyari yon, they need to sign a service contract para uh, ang nakalagay sa service contract, dapat ma-deliver ng buo yung computer, dapat ma-deliver ng kompleto, walang sira. Ha? So, that's how they protect their business. Ha? Para kapag merong nasirang, nung dineliver sa kanila, hindi natupad yung sa kontrata nila, yung service of contract nila, na-late sila na-late sila, ha? Na-late sila or may nasira, according to the service contract, dapat kapag may nasira, papalitan nila. Pero kapag hindi nila pinalitan, you can show the service contract to them. It's your, the business or owner or the higher officials, yun yung secure nila. Secure method nila na, hoy, hindi mo pwede akong takbuhan. Hindi mo ako pwedeng hindi palitan yung materials na dineliver mo sa akin dahil according to the service contract, dapat buo or kompleto yung provide nyo. Okay? So, yan yung service contract when hiring other service provider. Okay? Pero kung mag-work ka sa mismong company, we will use contract of employment. Yan yung pinagkaiba dyan. Kapag mag-work ka sa company na yon, service, contract of employment. Pero kapag isang serbisyo lang, para delivery lang, you should have a service contract. Actually, in Lazada, mga ganyan, Shopee, every time you check out, hindi nyo lang kasi binabasa yan. May service contract kayo. Okay? Code of conduct. Now, it's like, ito, isa sa makikita nyo sa security policy nyo, sa mga handbook nyo, code of conduct. Okay? It's just a list of set of rules outlining the norms. Okay? Yung kung ano yung mga normal behavior na, the cultures, the rules, responsibilities, proper practices. Okay? Mostly, code of conduct is printed separately on security policy or sometimes nasa loob na siya ng document na contract of employment or security policy handbook. Okay? But if you see a set of rules, yung outlining the norms, rules, responsibility, it's called code of conduct. Okay? The most obvious elements of the code conduct obligation placed upon regarding information assurance, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Meaning, one of the information you will see on code of conduct is maintaining this one, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Meaning, dapat hindi mo share yung business secret. Okay? Kapag shinare mo, you violated the agreement, mga ganon. Pwede ka makulong or pwede ka magmulta. Okay? That's one of the code of conduct. Bawal kang mag-share ng password, bawal kang, ayan. And also, dapat mag-ID ka always, mga ganyan. Okay? So, it can include rules of accepting or not hospitality and guidance on accepting the clearing and receipt or gift inducement from third parties. Okay? Sometimes, yun nga, pati nga yung pag-accept mo ng gift sa ibang company, in code of conduct, it also included that. Okay? Then, another method they use is segregations of duties and avoiding dependencies. Dependence. Okay? May question ba tayo dito, class, sa code of conduct, sa mga service contract, security, undertakings, mga ganun? Do you have questions before we go to segregation of duties?
Wala, sir.
Wala naman? Okay. Lapit na tayo matapos. Mabilis lang. Last is, the next one is segregations of duties and avoiding dependence. Okay? The requirement for segregation of duties has two functions. Okay? So ano yung segregation of duties? Kaya nga tayo nagkaroon ng different departments. Okay? Kaya nga meron tayong, yan yung segregation kung paano mo i-segregate. Okay? Kung paano mo pag-ihiwalayin yung mga trabaho. Okay? Hindi dapat yung isang tao lang maghahawak ng isang buong trabaho. On security, hindi dapat isang tao lang ang maghahawak ng lahat ng password nyo. Okay? This is why we segregate duties. Okay? Kung paano nating ihiwa-hiwalay. Ha? Avoiding dependence. Dependence. Meaning, hindi ka iiwasan natin na magdidepende ka lang sa isang tao. Okay? Iiwasan natin magdidepende ka lang sa isang bagay. Okay? That's why we need to segregate. So, one of the method they use is segregation of duties, and one of the duties functions is to limit the kung anong use, kung anong use ng segregation. Okay? May dalawang use. Number one is to limit the scope that any one individual has to attack and compromise the information assurance of the organizations. Okay, example, if one individual has all the passwords, sabi ko nga, kapag lahat yan nasa password, yung isang tao lang kailangan i-hack nila. Pag na-hack nila isang tao, meaning pati yung ibang department, nahawa na. Okay? So, imbes na yung library department lang dapat yung maepektuhan, kung kuwari ko nasa school ka, pati na rin yung sa information system, pati na rin yung sa ICT department, pati, kapag iisa lang yung taong nakahawak ka, pati na rin sa financial department, okay? Naepektuhan na lahat. And that's bad for the business. That's bad for the security of the organization. Dapat, ihiwa-hiwalayin mo. Kaya dapat bawat password dapat ang IT either 3-4 para per department. Okay? Para kahit ma-hack yung isa, yung computer ng isang IT professional o kahit anong IT kahit anong administrator na yan, kapag na-hack yan, hindi lahat ng department ma-hack. Yung certain department lang na hawak niya. That's why you need segregation of duties. Okay? To limit the dependence that an organization has upon any one individual. Meaning, kunwari, dapat yung skill or knowledge ng isang taong yon, dapat hindi ka lang nakadepende doon. Kasi ang mga tao sa organization class is come and go yan. Okay? Either, eventually, aalis din mga yan. Magre-retire or makakakita ng ibang opportunity. Okay? So that's why you need to segregate duties para at least yung isa alam niya yung ginagawa ng isa. May backup ka. Okay? Kailangan mo rin mag-backup sa people. Okay? Dapat may backup plan ka. Sir, si Alipio lang lahat nakakaalam ng gagawin sa IAS. Siya lang may kayang magturo. Di wala na. Siya lang yung may hawak ng module. Di parang wala rin. Di ba? So, umasa ka lang sa isang tao, wala ka ng backup plan. Sir, siya lang yung may hawak ng important data na yun, sir. Hindi ko alam kung paano niya nakuha yung data na yun, sir. Yun yung one of the use of segregation of duties. Okay? Kaya huwag kang aasa dapat magdepende sa isang tao. Huwag kang aasa depende sa knowledge niya, sa skills niya. Kasi lahat yan, it come and go lang lahat yan. Okay? So may questions ba tayo sa segregation of duties and avoidance of dependence? Wala naman? Okay. Walang questions, class? Sa method na itong segregation of duties and avoidance dependence?
Wala, sir.
Wala. Okay, let's move. Obligations on third-party suppliers of goods and services. There may times that when contract for goods services are both outsourced, the contract to cover this will need to include legally binding clauses that cover informations. Okay, obligation of third party, it's more on service of contract. Okay, the contract to cover will need to include legally binding work. I think, yeah. More on, this one is more on contract, service contract. Okay? Sinasabi lang dito, obligation of third-party suppliers of goods and services. Kasi mostly kasi, class, if hindi mo kayang gawin sa isang company, you should outsource a professional, uh, professional. You should outsource other professionals regarding that matter. Okay? Kaya nga, laging naka-prepare dapat yung service of contract mo. Okay? So, sabi nga dito, if you can do, obligation mong try uh, to get a third-party supplier or good service, third-party suppliers of goods and services. Meaning, if hindi mo, huwag mong pilitin pag hindi mo kaya yung isang bagay dun sa, wala, kung ikaw ay isang business owner, okay, one of the security advice you will have is, if hindi mo kaya, huwag mong pilitin kasi the more na pilitin mo siya, baka pangit lang yung outcome. So, they will advise you to hire other third parties. Okay? So, third parties that they are more good at it or they're more professional on doing it. Okay? And the contract to cover this will include legally binding clauses and covering this. May process of information binding British affairs nature, balance process data. Yeah, you should, here yung sinabi lang dito, make sure naka-prepare lang talaga dapat lagi ang service contract mo when you hire other third-party suppliers. Okay? So that's all for module 5 regarding people on information assurance. I hope you learned that hindi lang having antivirus, having security method, having update on company, on organizations, masasabi mo ng secure ka. Okay? Hindi mo pwedeng, sana natutunan nyo in this module 5, knowing or educating other people, okay? Making sure that your organization will be secured too. Okay? Dapat aware rin yung mga employees, mga other people sa security, the security harms, mga ganun, security values. Okay? Para para ma-ensure mo talaga ang seguridad ng isang company. Okay. Yun lang. So, meron ba kayong, and one thing is, para kapag pumasok kayo on a company, hindi na kayo mako-culture shock na, ay, kailangan palang gumamit ng password ganito. Ay, bakit may training tayo? Ay, bakit nung pumasok akong ganito, kailangan kong mag-sign ng contract. Di ba? Para hindi na kayo magulat. Okay? So, dapat when you enter a company in the future, to have security in yourself, you should have at least, ano yun? Anong kontrata yon? Contract of employment. Okay? To protect yourself or the organizations. Okay? Para hindi kayo abusuhin. Okay? For example of contract of employment leave kasi class, abusuhin kayo ng, kapag wala kayong kontrata, abusuhin kayo ng company na mag-work ng 12 hours a day or 23 hours a day. Mga ganun. So, totoo ba yan? Oo. Okay? Kasi wala naman sa kontrata na sinabing 8 hours ka lang eh. Tama ba? So, yun. But the organization is, lagi naman kapag pumapasok ka, they will always present you a contract of employment. I hope in the future when you apply a job, hindi na kayo ma-culture shock na gano'n nga. Kasi ginagawa lang nila yan sa security para sa kanila, para sa inyo, at para matutunan niyo yung culture nila sa organization nila. Okay? Para anong tawag doon? What's the word I'm looking for? para mapilitan or gawin nyo yung policy. That's why they need to have a contract of employment. Para mapilitan kayong gawin yung security culture. Para ma-impose yung security culture nila. Okay? Kasi kapag walang security contract, ba't ko gagawin yan? Wala naman mangyayari sa akin pag hindi ko ginawa yan. Diba? So, that's why, yun yung lesson natin. Okay? That's what the summary. Any questions, class? On people, ito lang yun. The summary is people have to be educated, motivated, and appropriately regulated. Okay? Educated, training, motivated, more on policy. Okay? According kasi sa policy natin, or according sa contract natin, kapag hindi ako pumasok, wala akong sahod. Kung hindi ako pumasok, mafa-fire ako. So, motivated ka dapat. So, dapat malagay mo sa kontrata, mga ganun, dapat pumasok ka or ganyan. Kasama na rin yun sa regulated, para makontrol mo sila, okay, to do their responsibilities or to control their behavior and attitudes. They should at least have a contract of employment, service contract, or code of conduct. They should have security policy. Okay? Kasi you will act a mindless people or you will act bad way kapag wala mga to. Okay? Pag wala mga to, code of conduct, wala yung mga contract of employment. Okay? So, your assignment will be is just name one company. Class, one company yan, class, Name one company that has a security culture. Almost lahat naman ng company meron yung security culture. Mag-name lang kayo ng company. Baka na naman i-define nyo tong security culture. Security culture is blah, 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 blah. Ay, sabi ko sa assignment nyo is name one company na merong security culture. Huwag nyong i-define ang security culture. Okay? Then describe one of their security culture. Meaning kung ano ba yung mga security culture na yun. For example, huwag nyo nang gamitin to. St. Joseph. St. Joseph College. St. Joseph, ano yung Baggao Ink Company. St. Joseph College, Baggao Ink Company. Yan yung company, or organization, schools. Describe one of their security culture. One of their security culture is having an ID. Having an ID to protect their students or to protect their organizations. So, yan yung having an ID. Yun na yun. Correct na yung dalawa. Yan yung assignment nyo. I'll create a Google form for this for you to submit there. And yun lang. Do you have any questions, class? Wala naman? Lalo na yung mga naka-ganyan dyan.
Yes, sir.
Dito. Okay. Just don't forget to answer the quiz I sent before the class. Please answer that. It will serve as your recitations and attendance. Okay? So, yun lang. If you don't have any questions, you're free to go. Thank you for attending. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, may natutunan kayo for today. We will discuss next. Ano ba next natin na module? Okay. Mga hindi pa nakaalis dyan. Ano ba ang next na kaya natin? I think tapos na tayo sa information assurance. More on applications na tayo. You will learn the more access control tayo next is uses control. Okay? Uses access control. Tapos, protections from malicious softwares. Well, we have a lot. We will tackle more regarding the protections of malicious softwares. It's a fun week. Next, we will discuss this next. Okay? Network communications, more on security na, more on information security. Applications, external services, security of the... Anyway, ito na next nating class. Just do your assignments and review uses access controls regarding uses access controls. Okay? I'm gonna end the recording na. So, yep.